Hello, welcome to Workforce Wednesday. My name is Emily Petnato. I am the Workforce Development Specialist at the Greater Scranton Chamber of Commerce and your host of Workforce Wednesday, which is aired on Facebook Live every Wednesday at noon. And we will feature a member business every week. Today, I have Kathy Parrish, Administrator of TriStar Academy. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing great, Emily. Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
Of course. Can you start by telling me about TriStar Academy and your locations?
Absolutely. TriStar Academy is a childcare organization, and we have 4 centers in Lackawanna County. All 4 are, we are in Upper Lackawanna County. So we have one in Blakely, we have one in Jessup, we have one in German, and we have one in Archibald.
And what are the positions you are hiring for?
At this point, we're hiring for all positions. We have some full-time, we have mostly full-time positions. We do have a few part-time positions, and we do have a few entry-level positions. And we have infant positions, infant teacher positions, toddler teacher positions, and preschool positions. And one center, we even have a cook position available. That's a part-time position throughout the summer, because we offer at all centers, the children get breakfast, lunch, afternoon snack.
Are there different qualifications for the 8 different age ranges?
They're not so much for the different age ranges, more so for the different programs that we're involved in. So in our preschool program, we have state-approved curriculum in there. So we would be looking for someone with some education, early childhood education, preferably an associate's or bachelor's degree. However, we can have assistant teachers that have 2 years experience in the childcare arena. For our infant toddler teachers, again, we not so much looking for a degree, but we are looking for someone with 2 years experience, childcare experience, whether they worked in a childcare setting, if they worked in babysitting, if they were nannying, anything like that. They're a little bit more entry level, and they also have training, on the job training, orientation, and we also help with tuition assistance. If they're looking to further their education, we can help with that.
Very nice. Do they have to work there for a certain amount of time for tuition assistance?
No, we actually, if they're interested in getting started, we look for different funding streams. There's a Child Development Associate credential, a CDA it's called, and that, when it's said and done, it's equivalent to 9 college credits. And there's different programs being run throughout the year that we can help support that, as far as getting the tuition paid, providing the learning materials and things like that. As far as looking at an associate's and working with higher ed, there's different programs, the TEACH program, where we can work on getting reimbursed for tuition or paying up to 90% of your tuition to help you get your degree in early childhood.
So they can gain hands-on experience while going for their degree.
Correct. Many times when you're in the classrooms, in the centers, doing the lesson plans, working with the parents, that type of thing, that experience can carry over to your education as part of your field studies experience, or perhaps your student teaching experience, things like that. So it's a win-win. It counts toward your education, and you're getting paid for it too, because you're also doing your job.
So would you say this is a good opportunity for people who are graduating high school and not sure what to do, where to go, but they know they like working with kids?
Right, absolutely. This is a fantastic opportunity for them. Usually with someone that is 18 years of age or older and they're coming out of high school, we may start them in what's called a floater position. And in that position, they will work various classrooms, and they get a feel for all age groups, whether they want to be with school age, whether they want to be with the infants, or anywhere in between. And typically when a position opens up, we then go to the floater pool first. And we speak with those people and say, what position do you like the best? You know, we look to putting them in there, to helping them grow and develop at that level. So, yeah.
Why should someone choose to work in childcare? And maybe you want to share a little bit about your experience of why you decided to open a school.
Um, working with children and childcare, although it can be very demanding at times,
Mhm.
most times it's a lot of fun. You're laughing, you're, you know, just planning. It's very creative. So you're lesson planning and you're doing these activities, and you can bring in as much creativity to your plans and do as much as you want with the children that they're capable of doing as well. And whether it be, I don't know, foot painting, whether it be, I don't know, flashlight, shadow fun, anything like that, that you want to bring into the classroom, you have the opportunity to do that. You also have the opportunity to watch these children grow and develop. You almost become their person that sees, okay, they started walking, you know, today. That was a big deal. So you're excited for them. When you see a tooth coming in, you're excited for them. When a child ties their shoe for the first time, that's exciting to them, and it's contagious. So you're excited for them. You want to share those things when the parent picks up, you know, you become part of the family. You know, how was the day? You're sharing their child's day with the family and the parents. Same thing at drop off. You know, how was their night? You know, they slept great, or they had a bad dream, or hey, this was going on. You know, you're a resource for the family. Not only, you know, mentally, but also financially. Like, you are allowing these families to go to work, and, you know, their mind is at ease because they know their child is safe. Their child is learning, they're beginning reading skills, they're beginning social skills, and you're a part of that. You're developing that, and you're putting your spin on that whole arena in the child's development. So that's exciting. And, you know, your days are never the same. That they're never the same. You might think they're going to be the same that day, and then something else comes up and you're like, well, let's try that. Let's go outside and let's see how many birds we can count today. Let's see how many we can find. And, you know, that's for the whole day. Then they are looking for birds for the whole day. They're looking out the windows. They're out on the playground. You know, you're on the playground going down the slide with a child. You're on the playground swinging with the children, and it's just it's fun. It's exciting, and it's very rewarding.
Especially if you have kids starting in the infant room and then moving all the way up to pre-K, you could watch them grow like so much, and I bet
Yes,
it's so rewarding.
absolutely. And, you know, our graduations, you know, that's can be a little difficult depending on, you know, how long you've been at the center, because they may spend the summer with you, but then they may be going to another
Mhm.
a school district, in a school district we're not in. So, you know, that they may come back to visit, but that could be difficult to see them develop and grow. And, you know, yeah, you also have that sense of pride that
Yeah.
we were a big part of, you know, their success. So that's probably the greatest thing about being in childcare, that you feel you're making the difference every day.
That's amazing. I think that's one of the greatest things about working in childcare, having had experience in my past working in childcare, just playing with kids, seeing
Right.
how happy they get when you put Skittles in water
Right. Right. And
and watching it make a rainbow.
that's true. It
It's
doesn't
the
take
littlest
any time.
things.
The littlest things they get so excited about.
Yeah.
Um, so that is very rewarding. It is very nice.
What are you looking for in an ideal candidate?
The ideal candidate would be someone with a degree in early childhood education and some experience in childcare. Now, at this particular time, we have developed an orientation program for our new hires, because we find that when we pair a mentor with our new hires, that person is with them for the first 90 days that they are in the centers, and they are working with them as far as getting to know the families and the children, getting to know the policies, getting to know the regulations that we must follow and the systems that are in place to adhere to those. And so because we have developed that program, we can really bring in any person with any skill set and develop them to be successful in our system. So that's interesting too. So the ideal candidate, yes, would have some education and some experience, but we also can take any high school graduate that wants to look into early childhood and develop them to be successful in their career as well.
That's great.
Mhm.
Is there anything you would like to add that I haven't touched on or asked you?
Not really at this point. I want to say that the job itself is very, like I said earlier, it's just a very rewarding position to have. A lot of jobs can get mundane, and you're in a rut, you're doing the same thing over and over again. There's not a lot of creativity, or you can't bring in a lot of your own personality. In childcare, all of that can be done on a daily basis. So it's just very rewarding to be working in that field.
And that's great that you mentioned that you can lead a classroom, but bring in your own activities and have your own creativity and your own spin on how you teach the children.
Yeah. Yeah. Not many jobs you're allowed to do that.
No.
This one you are.
So how would an interested job seeker apply?
They can contact any of the centers, or they can contact our main center, as our German center, and that phone number is 570-876-3040. They can also go to our website, which is tristarchildcare.com. And there's a careers page there with our application. They can also apply there, or they can also go to any of the locations, TriStar locations, or We Care Daycare, which is on Route 6 in Blakely. That's also one of our centers. And they can walk in and fill out an application. And most times they'd be able to have an interview right on the spot.
And what is the interview process like?
The interview process is they would come in, fill out an application. If they have a resume, that's fantastic. If they already have their clearances in hand, that's fantastic. And they would sit down with the director, go over their resume, their qualifications, decide what determine what they're looking for in a position. And sometimes they may do a little job shadowing. They may come back and work with a staff member, work in a classroom for 2 or 3 hours, get a feel for what the job entails, and then have a follow-up interview after that free look type of experience, have a follow-up interview with the director and discuss any concerns, what they liked, what they didn't like, ask any other questions they may have. And typically at that second interview is when we sit down and either discuss a job offer or discuss salary and things like that. So that's the typical hiring process.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today and talk to our viewers about TriStar Academy and what it's like working in childcare. If you are an interested job seeker, please head to their website, any other centers, or call. If you are looking for other jobs available from our member businesses, we have the Chamber Job Board at scrantonchamber.com. If you're interested in registering for an upcoming workforce session, please contact me at epetnato@scrantonchamber.com. And thank you for watching today, and we will see you next week. And have a great day, Kathy. Have a great day to our viewers.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.